Amit, you gave us a little sneak peek, but let's talk a little more about it. You said it's perhaps going to be even a challenge to convince a millennial to keep a car for 1 year time. But having said that, where do you see personal mobility go? I remember once when I interviewed Anand Mahindra, he said his daughters don't own any car, they only Uber and Ola. Is that really the future?
Look, that may be a future for India much later, where when you have automated vehicles, driving around, you might not need to own a car, you just need to basically use it as a service. But right now in India, it's a lot of pride and a lot of, I have arrived kind of feeling when you buy a vehicle. So I think millennials will obviously take cars, but they don't want to keep cars for so long as our generation.
Okay.
Where we would keep a car for 4-5 years, they would want a fast change with more technology evolution happening in the vehicle itself. So trying out something new is something what millennials want. In any case, they were very low attention span. So keeping a car for a year also would be a good sign.
So then more than ever we will need that scrappage policy to come.
And that's coming. I mean, if you notice, government is trying to push EV so heavily, scrappage so heavily, which clearly indicates that they really do want a new fleet to appear, green fleet to appear. They want people to basically adopt to a newer scheme of things, which is electric vehicles. So you'll start seeing a lot of technology-laden experiences now. In EV, if you realize, I mean, there's just 20 moving parts. The current car has 1,000 moving parts. It's going to be a very different world as the EVs, take to the town. A lot of industries are going to get disrupted as they move on, right? So I think a lot of evolution of EVs is going to happen initially through millennials only.
Okay.
Would like to own a vehicle, drive it at a much cheaper cost, very heavy technology-laden vehicles.
But they're going to need charging stations. We don't know what that's going to be.
Look, that's something government is definitely going to work upon. Given the focus, the current budget, if you see, it's very EV-led, not hybrid-led even, right?
No.
So clearly, I mean, government has declared that we want.
But I'm going to ask
EV.
you then this one other question. You said that even if you were to go by your own company and the trends that you see, Maruti is the clear favorite. It does have 51% market
Correct.
share, so obviously, it's a given. But when I interviewed the top boss of Maruti, he said, do not expect a launch of a personal, small electric vehicle for at least 2 years.
I think he's right there, frankly, because this battery is too expensive right now to support a hatchback segment. If you notice, all the EVs are coming around a 15 lakh kind of a 10-15 lakh kind of a range, 20 lakh kind of a range, because it's not unit economic in terms of hatchback segment yet. But technology is evolving very fast, which would mean that you will start seeing in two-wheelers very quickly. It's already happening. You can see launch of new bikes, which are EVs already, and you'll see a lot more happen on two-wheeler side because battery requirement is much lower on a two-wheeler. When you talk about a heavy vehicle, the battery cost becomes a little too high. So the new evolution would be around battery financing. So battery would be financed so that you don't have to pay for it upfront.
Okay.
The cost of the car goes down significantly if the battery is financed, right?
Yeah.
And imagine you are filling a fuel every month, right? Imagine batteries charged like that.
Yeah.
So that is going to be the way industry will move towards EV in terms of adoption. But I do agree from a hatchback standpoint, right now technology is still getting there to get the battery at a cost where hatchbacks can be affordable.
You also told me that CarDekho has applied for an NBFC. It's going to be very crucial for you to roll out the new wave of owning and getting into personal mobility, which could be subscription led, maybe insurance or pay as you go for when you drive a car. How do you see all of this evolving? What is the future of personal mobility?
Look, I personally believe that as you move on in the journey, there will be early adopters who will start owning vehicles for, say, a small 1 year kind of a subscription, and they will want a different weekend car versus a weekday car if they're going out on a weekend. There will be options that will be created by various startups, various companies like us, and many other in the ecosystem, which will enable fulfilling these kind of needs. So you have a hatchback for the weekday, and you need a big SUV to go on a weekend out. So you will start seeing a mindset change where I want to have the vehicle, but I want for different needs, different vehicle at a different point of time.
Yeah.
As I get married and I have a child, I want to change the vehicle to something else. I don't want to be stuck to my vehicle. And that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be shorter term duration ownerships rather than longer term duration ownerships. And this trend you'll see starting now. I mean, I'm already seeing it. You'll start seeing a 5-10% movement in next 2 years where people would want to move towards more shorter duration vehicles. They may try to not go on subscription, buy it, sell it, but they want an easy way to do that.
there is a new evolution that we're seeing, or a new model that's coming up, let's say in cities like San Francisco, which is it's very expensive to own a car, it's very expensive to have parking, but there are also, it's a very environment conscious city. So there are these apps where you actually see that, okay, I only want to rent a car for 5 hours or 6 hours, and you rent it from a particular individual. It tells you where the car is parked, you drive around, you finish, and wherever you find parking, you park the car and you put in the app where you have parked it.
Correct.
Can this ever happen in India?
Yeah, this will definitely happen in India.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. Technology has come that far where technology can have an app, open the car, you drive it for as long as you like, next guy comes, picks it up. I went to China, it was exactly the same. I actually rented on an app, I was able to drive around, leave the car. So it's going to happen. It's not like we're far off from there. Having said that, the way I see the personal mobility evolve is person would like to own a car with no strings attached.
Yeah.
So he can basically change when he likes. That will be the first evolution of the phase. So imagine I give you a new world where you can buy a car through us and you can return back anytime you like. And
depreciation?
And exactly,
Who's
right?
going to bear the depreciation cost?
So we basically are guaranteeing you a buyback value already, and we are charging you only for the period you own.
Okay.
So we are taking that risk of depreciated amount will be kind of, since we are also into used car vehicle sales, we'll sell it. Now banks can't do that because banks don't have a selling arm. We have a selling arm where we liquidate the vehicles also, right? So we have plotted a lot of mathematical models on what is the depreciating curve for each car.
Okay.
And based on that, we are able to predict that at this month of the life cycle, this is what the car would potentially be valued at. And based on that, we say, okay, don't pay us this money that is left for the life cycle. We'll earn it through selling the car. You just pay for this one.
Okay.
So understand that's where the EMI goes down. So the ownership becomes easier, right?
Okay.
So I'm saying if we can reduce the car's EMI by say 40-50%, wouldn't that be cool for a millennial to own?
Is that what you're planning to do? That CarDekho is going to have an EMI which is 40-50% less than the banks?
Exactly. That's exactly the plan.
How do you make money?
We make money on the interest obviously on the car. We make money while reselling the vehicle. We obviously keep some buffers, right? So if say the residual value is 55%, I will basically value at 50% while doing my model. Because 5% is a buffer amount. So we are heavily getting into these models where we can actually change the industry itself. This is going to be game changer if people can buy the next level car today, their next dream car today. That's what millennials want, right? They want everything early. So this should appeal to a segment of people for sure.
We're already hearing there's a black premium on the MG Hector.
Oh, I won't comment on black premiums honestly, but yeah, it's in heavy demand.
Okay.
It's all, bookings are all out. I mean, they're not even taking any more bookings.
Yeah.
So clearly there is a big demand for these kind of technology laden internet cars. All this is creating a big buzz. Seltos is doing well on a platform. Venue has done very well on a platform. Clearly, I mean, all three cars are very heavy technology laden cars.